Greetings from snowy southeast Michigan. We made it. Nora and I made it up to well, it's not all that snowy, but I want to say the Great White North, all that blah blah blah. But we made it, and we saw my 18-year-old at Michigan State. Spent a really good afternoon with her. Went and saw a terrible basketball game yesterday with Dave and his wife. It was just bad basketball, but the company was good, and we got to walk around Detroit a little bit, which isn't exactly what you're thinking if you think of Detroit and you're not in the Detroit area. Sure, there's lots that could be improved, but it's turning into a bit of a walking city, so it was nice. And then we saw my two oldest last night and their boys, and we had pizza at at Pizza Sam's in Midland, Michigan. This is free advertisement for Pizza Sam's in Midland, Michigan. top 3 pizza places in my book. It was just great. And my girl, we had lots of good conversation and different things, and it was nice. It was nice. So we're wrapping up today. We're gonna go see my mom, visit her for a little bit, and then head off to the airport and finish our whirlwind trip to the Great White North, as it was. So it's been okay. But yesterday was such a long day, in many different ways, right? I mean, I wake up at 5. It's just my thing. I went and did my kind of soda drinking stuff while Nora was still sleeping away a little bit. And then we went to the gym, and then all the stuff that I just said. I won't go back over that. Geez, I don't know when we spent probably 5 hours with Dave and his wife. And then, I don't know, 3 hours with my girls and their boys. And got back to the hotel, I don't know, 10 p.m. So physically long day, but then socially, oh my gosh, I was exhausted last night. I laid down and I listen to an audiobook when I go to bed, and it's always tricky remembering where I left off the night before, right? Because I hear 10 minutes and then I fall asleep, and then whatever. And I remember I put on my little bed phones, and I said goodnight to Nora, all that kind of stuff, and rolled over, put my head down, and thought, oh, this sounds familiar. Let me change that. And that's what I remember. Next thing I knew, it was 6 a.m. and I was waking up from a dream about running where I wasn't moving my legs while running. And no surprise, it was easier to run that way when you're moving fewer body parts. So yeah, that was a weird thing. If you care to know, so the faster I pumped my arms, the faster I went in my run. But no legs. Legs weren't moving. And it all made sense, right? This is the way you run. Okay, so there's that. So yeah, here we are. We're in Michigan. And it is Sunday, February 26, 2023. And as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. And so it turns out that there's McDonald's everywhere you go. And And so that's where I am here in McDonald's. Because it's, it's what's open at 6 a.m. Usually, often, where I can get soda and maybe a bite to eat. Nothing extravagant, right? Nothing. It's McDonald's, but whatever. It's all about the soda. So here I am, and I'm a little later coming out with this episode, but it was just I don't know. I never seem to have time to do it. I mean, I lost Friday, I lost yesterday with travel and all that. So here I am, and I wanted to talk a little bit about. I'm probably rehashing some things a little bit, but when I got this diagnosis of avoidance personality disorder, it came from the it's not diagnosing. I don't know what it is. The word I want to use, but it came from testing. To see, I mean, the idea was with Alex, my therapist at the time, was we were wondering about autism spectrum, something, just based on different things, and so there's this more in depth kind of testing, and testing it conjures up pictures of electrodes stuck on heads, shaved heads, and this and that, and whatever. But it wasn't that. It was the Minnesota multiphasic the A word, assessment, and and from that became this avoidant personality disorder, and I still wonder, like, it's still not, there's still, like, in my head, like, autistic branded features of JP, right? And it's mostly tied up in social things. So I was watching Big Bang Theory, as I'm wont to do when I'm just whiling away the late afternoon, waiting for Nora to get done with work. And there was a scene where Sheldon was talking about how it's very difficult for him to navigate different social situations and things like that. And he said, and I can't remember the exact line, but it was like he has difficulty navigating experiences when he's in a room with someone who is angry or mad, and he can't tell if they're angry or mad at him. And I thought about this, and I can see that. I identify with that. I experience that as well. If I just walk into a room and someone is angry or upset, given my current state and ability and toolbox, it's impossible for me to be confident that they are not angry or upset at me, even though I just walked into the room. If I'm in a room with someone for some amount of time and they become angry, agitated, upset, I cannot distinguish whether it's because of me or not. If I'm in a room with someone and an external stimulus comes in, like they get a phone call, and that phone call causes them to get upset or angry or mad or whatever, I cannot parse out that they're not angry or upset at me. And this is weird as I'm sitting here thinking about it. Like there's a bit of like you could argue that there is an element of like narcissism there, right? Like who are you that like everything that's going on around you has to involve you? And I don't think that's it at all, right? But it just popped in my head. Like, it's not, it's like hardwired in me that if I'm in a situation where someone has negative feelings, it must be because of me. And if they're having positive feelings, it cannot have to do with me. So I guess when I phrase it that way, it's like autism similar, right? Like I can't navigate their emotions to know what's going on. I guess I don't know. That analogy is falling apart. So it's this hardwiring in me that I am the root of all bad and a bystander for all good. Right. I don't know where that comes from. Yeah, so I don't know. So there's that, right? I'm firmly in that situation. And yeah, I don't know. So more random thoughts. I was talking with Nora, and like given my inability, or I don't know what I want to say. Like my inability to really recall and conjure up memories of my past. Well, those all memories are in the past, right? That of like my childhood and my adolescence and teenage years and things like that. Like all signs point to like I had a good childhood, right, in many respects. And good is relative, I suppose. But that things weren't inherently bad. And I guess I'm viewing this in the lens of like childhood trauma or something like that, right? That maybe, did some rewiring in my brain. But like, I guess I just don't know. Like I don't have either sets or, collection of memories of good or bad. So like, I don't know. Right. Like, I mean, you take clues from who, my parents were and are and things like that. But like, I just don't know. And that's just, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just, that's interesting in my situation, and I'm sure many others, but to think about like the absence of necessarily good memories or positive memories doesn't mean that they're bad, but also the absence of bad memories doesn't mean that they didn't exist. Right. So I don't know. I guess I'm, I've long wished that I could identify that, Uncle so-and-so, did something to me, or there was a situation or a traumatic event that triggered neurological changes that brought on my depression and different things. And I've wanted. There's times when I've wished that I could identify that situation. 6-year-old JP, and this happened, and okay, so we have a root cause, so let's work on that. It's just sometimes it's nice to have knowledge of something, even if it's a bad something, right? Because then you've got information that you can work on. And I'm not good with the abstract, the gray area, so it's, I guess, comforting for me to have a solid point where I can jump from, right? Like here's point A, where things, this thing occurred, and you can firmly stand on that and move forward, right? And I don't know, like I just talked about, like, I don't know if my mindset would allow for anything to be a solid point from which to jump from, right? Like, from which to jump from. Okay. Right? Like, I don't know that I could give enough validity to something in how it impacts and affects me. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Like I can firmly say I went to a basketball game with Dave, but anything as it relates to me, I can't say is fact, right? Like, I was disappointed by the game, or I was happy by the game, or I was, happy to have the conversations that I had, or that I left the game feeling a certain way, or it was this aspect of the game that caused me to feel this, right? Like, there's none of that processing in my head. So I don't know. I mean, there's different facts, right? There's physical facts, and then there's I don't know, intellectual, emotional facts, right? And those are the gray area, right? I guess, like, things that are open to interpretation. And I don't know that it's open to interpretation that I was at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit yesterday at noon for a basketball game, right? That's not open to interpretation, but all the rest of it, I guess, is. I don't know. But it seems like it's getting noisier here in the McDonald's, so I might have to cut this short. Yeah, I don't know. This is a really philosophical kind of episode, I guess. So I'm getting closer to going the route of a fitness instructor, fitness coach, fitness something, and hopefully I make a good decision. But yeah, I don't know. I'm coming around on it. Like, I'm coming around on the idea that this could be money well spent rather than frivolous money. And whatever. I don't know if you can hear that, but somebody's very loud. So, hang on. We're gonna pause just for a second. Hey, I'm back. I don't know if any of that was picked up on the microphone, but it was kind of loud. Uh, but yeah, where was I? I don't know. Um, oh, fitness, right? Like I'm coming around on the idea that money can be spent on me for frivolous isn't the word, but I see now. I'm not being fair. Um, it's not frivolous, right? Self care is not frivolous. It's valuable and somewhere up there with like eating and sleeping, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm off the rails. I can't concentrate. Can't focus now. Um, so there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but I can't. I can't recall. Big surprise. So anyway, thanks for listening. Jamulki at gmail.com, facebook.com/Jamulki, at Jamulki on Instagram and TikTok. You can, that's JAMOALKI. You can text me 248-648-1419 or in the US or worldwide on WhatsApp +1 248-648-1419. And yeah, let me know how you're doing. And until next time, be safe and be well. Thanks.